Hey guys, it's Rob. This is another video geared mostly towards newer RC racers. If you have experience, maybe you'll pick something up in this video, or if you have some experience and you notice I'm saying something you don't agree with, by all means, leave a comment down below. Just trying to help everybody that's getting into RC, someone that's been racing for a little while and is just looking to improve. That's kind of where I'm at currently myself. And as I learn, I'm hoping just to share a little bit of information with y'all. Hey, speaking of that, I'm not sponsored in any way, but I will put a link down in the video description to A-Main. That's a referral link. So if you happen to be shopping at A-Main Hobbies and you've found this video helpful at all, do me a favor, use that link down in the description and I'll earn a few pennies that I can put towards my racing program as well. Anyways, so if you are looking to get better, in my opinion, and everybody has their opinions, I'm finding in RC, everybody has opinions about everything and most of us don't agree. The most important thing you can invest in is titanium ball studs. I'm just kidding. No, that's not what you're gonna invest in. Don't worry about titanium ball studs, carbon fiber, this and that, orange aluminum screws. Yes, I buy all that stuff. That's part of the hobby for me. But if you are on a limited budget or you're just smart about where you're going to put your money, don't invest in all that kind of stuff. There's something else you should do first. And I'm going to go into that. So what I would suggest, if you're going to spend any money whatsoever, learn RC car setup. And there's a lot of resources online. Here's a couple that I own. Oops, hit my phone there. Here's a couple that I own, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them and why you might want one versus the other, perhaps both, perhaps none of the above. So I like JQ, Joseph Quagrain. A lot of folks don't like him, but he's a really, really smart guy. One of the things that he talks about when newer folks or club racers come to him and ask for help, the first thing he does is look at their vehicle, their car, whether it's a buggy or a touring car or whatever. He races 8 scale nitro. I don't even race that class. So I've got 10 scale electric touring cars and I've got 10 scale buggies that we race on carpet off-road. He calls it I'm not going to swear, uneffing the person's car. So he looks at it and he makes sure it's built correctly. Are the camber links equal length? Is the suspension operating as it should? Nothing is bound up. Is the steering operating the way it should? Are the endpoints set the way they should be? Things like that. So before you spend any money whatsoever, have a really, really good look at your car. Did you build it correctly? Are the links installed correctly? Are they the correct length? Is your ride height correct? Is your droop correct? All that kind of stuff. Do you have, are your shocks built correctly? Have you bled the air out of the shocks? You don't have to spend any money on that. Just look at your vehicle with a critical eye. I'm really, really fussy, but I remember, I think it was almost 2 years ago, someone picked up my 2-wheel drive buggy and he said, hey, you've got one of your rear arms is in the kind of forward position and the other one is in the one side was in the short wheelbase and the other side was in the long wheelbase position. Total brain fart. I must have been working on setup change or something dumb and I screwed it up. So look at your car yourself, check it over carefully, maybe get someone else to look it over. We can always look at, somebody else's vehicle with a fresh eye and maybe notice something. Belt tension, a friend of mine recently handed me a touring car chassis and his belts were like crazy tight, ridiculous tight. He's brand new, he had no idea, but it was, I don't know what he did, but they were like absolutely tight. Anyway, so first thing you're gonna do, make sure your car is fine. If you pick up this book by chance, this one's actually really good at walking you through the assembly process. Now, I bought this one quite a while ago when I was building, well, I guess I was probably putting together my second 2-wheel drive buggy chassis. And as much as this is geared towards touring cars, the information will transfer to whatever you're racing. It doesn't matter if it's touring cars, buggies, on-road, off-road, dirt, carpet, it doesn't matter. This book, he kind of just makes you think through what you're doing as far as making sure everything is working as it should. Are your arms, functioning properly? Are they binding up in any way? Is your steering working as it should, etc.? So if you're getting started and you're going through the assembly process, or you know you've got a new kit coming and you're just not super skilled at it, this book might help you in that it just kind of makes you think about, oh, okay, this is how I make a suspension arm move freely on a hinge pin. Really, really good book. Highly recommended. It does go into setup towards the rear. Good book. But if I was to buy something today and I could find it, this is actually the one I would buy. It's a little bit hard to find. Can you see that? It's XXX main book. I don't know if they're still in print, authored by Martin Crisp. It's out of stock everywhere I've looked. I'll try to put some links. A link to A-Main will be a referral link. I don't even know if they sell this book, but I'll also just link to XXX Main's website. That's not a referral link. I just know it's there. It may or may not be out of stock. Maybe you can contact them and say, hey, are you going to print this book again? I don't know what the deal is with it. I was fortunate enough that somebody gave this to me for free, and I've learned a ton from this book. And the reason I say that is all the resources I've found up until receiving this book, 3 months ago, all the resources give you the same information. They'll say, hey, if you want this to happen, if you want more rear traction, make this change. But what all the other resources are missing is the reason why you're making the change. So this book, this one kind of was an aha moment for me, in that before he says, install softer springs on the rear, he talks about the process, what's happening. And it's all about weight transfer. I'm not going to go into great detail because I think you should buy the book and support the author. But really what he teaches you is, like, if this is your chassis, he's teaching you about weight transfer and the dynamics of the vehicle as it's driving. So, you're accelerating. If this is the rear, you're accelerating, weight's going to transfer to the rear. If you're on the brakes or you're lifting off your throttle, weight's going to transfer to the front. If you're turning to the left, weight will transfer to the right, etc., etc. So it talks about the fundamentals of your chassis and weight transfer. But he also talks about the corner. There might be a picture real quick. I don't want to show too much. I'm looking for a picture of a corner. I thought there was a diagram explaining the corner. It doesn't matter. It talks about corner entry. So this car's coming towards us. Here, this one here. So he's entering that corner. You can see even that picture. It's leaning to the outside and coming in a bit. So I'm thinking he's possibly off throttle or lifting. So it talks about where in the corner are you? Are you at corner entry, just coming into the corner? Are you mid-corner, or are you corner exit? And depending on what you're trying to do, you need to know where in the corner you want to make a change. If you're on corner exit, it's different than corner entry. If you're mid-corner, it's different than both, or potentially different. So this, before he says, oh, put softer springs on the rear, or more camber, or more droop, or whatever, he makes you kind of go through a mental process of asking yourself questions. Where are you in the corner? What is it that you want? Do you want more rear traction, more front traction, more steering, less steering, et cetera, et cetera? And then once you kind of grasp the fundamentals, hopefully, at least this is what happened with me, you'll kind of go, oh, now I get it. I want this to happen. So obviously I'm going to make this change. And he even gives you kind of a step 1, step 2, step 3, in order. Here's the easiest change to make that'll make the biggest difference. And as you go down the list that he provides, the change will work, but it's not as sensitive as the first one on the list. Hopefully that made sense. But anyways, so like I said, kind of rambling, but what I'm suggesting is try to learn about setup. Don't look for somebody else's setup sheets or some app that'll tell you what to do. If you really want to learn, so far, this is the best resource that I've personally found. There's others, there's tons of them out there. But if you can source this book, I highly recommend you pick it up. Learn setup, learn how to build a chassis, build your car correctly with this one, and it does go into setup as well, and it's very, very good. But if you want to actually understand it, and you can find this book somewhere, somehow, I suggest you buy it. I can't think of anything else to say. Sorry, that was a little bit of a ramble, but if you're looking to get faster, don't spend your money on ball studs. Spend your money on learning. You're going to get varying opinions from everybody at the track. Probably a lot of fast guys won't agree with what I just said, but it's working for me so far, somewhat. I'm not that good, so be careful with listening to me. Great book, other great resources. If you can only buy one and you can find it, buy this one. Anyways, guys, hopefully that helps. If you're still listening to this and you feel like shopping at A-Main, please use that link down in the description. I'll get a little bit of money from it, and maybe I can buy something else and tell you about it next time. Okay, talk to you later. Thanks. Bye for now.